Hello and welcome to a VO's Journey podcast. My name is Anthony Pica, and this show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to jump on. Today is episode number 161. That is just cray-cray. I'm trying to tell you that. I want to talk to you today about taking your business to the next level. And I think that this is relevant to everyone in the voiceover business, but more so the people who are trying to utilize the tools that are available to us right now, especially if you are a freelancer, you're someone, we're all working from home now, but you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, if you will, and you're building this business on your own, maybe without representation. You want to represent yourself. All right. And we're going to talk about how to do that today. All right. Let's do it.
This is VO's Journey. With your host, the incomparable Anthony Pica.
So, of course, the number one question I always get asked is, hey, Anthony, how do I get more business? Right? I mean, that's clearly all of us want to get that answer. That's the golden ticket. If we could just figure out how to get more business, we would be golden. But I think that it's really the wrong answer to ask, or the wrong question to ask, It's not how to get more business. It should be where to find the business, right? Because I think that in itself is so vital to this whole thing. And the reason why is because there's so many different ways on how you can get business, right? You can get business through an agent. You can get business through a website. You can get business through a casting site. You can get business through Facebook. You can get business through Instagram. You can get business through a phone call, an email. You can get business from anywhere. Okay, and how do you get it? I mean, you ask for it, right? We know that. So I think the how really should be turned around to where can I find a big pool of business, right? Where can I find the business? So I want to talk to you guys about that today, and something that changed my entire voiceover business, and I think it will help you change yours. So as you know, I do an awful lot of coaching, and I'm blessed and thankful for everybody that trusts me to help them. And one of the major things I see when I'm doing all of the coaching is I am seeing that we are expecting a lot of business from a little bit of exposure. So let me dive into that. What I mean by that is we are expecting to get a lot of business from not putting ourselves out there a lot of places. Now, some of that could be that we don't know how. Some of that could be that we're nervous to. Some of it's like, Anthony, I just don't want to put myself on social media. I understand. But there is a method and a way to do this that really doesn't involve social media and could really, I think, change your whole business. However, it involves a lot of work because anything worthwhile does. So let me dive into this. Now, I've talked about this before, but I think it's worth discussing again. The key to us as freelancers, solopreneurs, people trying to break into the industry, even if you've been in the industry for a while and you're trying to grow your business, the key to getting business is getting our demo, our profile, our samples in front of as many people as possible that are looking to buy work. All right, let's sink in. As many people as possible. And you might be like, well, duh. But the question I would follow up with you then is, are you doing that? And that's when you say, okay, how do I do that? Well, you find the places that are spending the money to get those people to you. Because the reality is, I'm a big proponent of our own website, right? For the longest time, I've switched back and forth on this topic. Should you have a website? No. For a period of time, I was like, don't even waste your time on a website. Then I was like, you should have a one-page website because that was the thing. But then I was like, after a while, I'm saying no one's getting business. I was getting no business from my website. There was just one thing after another about this website thing. Then I realized that it was one of the biggest wolves pulled over our eyes about websites. Okay? Because honestly speaking, we need a top-notch website because we are losing out to all of these massive brand websites like voices.com, Voice123, Fiverr and Upwork and all these sites. They are marketing machines. They are spending hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to get customers to go to their sites. And we have to be on those sites, which leads me to the point I'm trying to make in this podcast. If you're not on 20, 25, 30 sites, and you're not making the money you want to make, you are not doing enough. Let me say that again. If you are not on 20 to 30 different websites, that can be freelance websites, that can be pay-to-play websites, that can be intermediary websites like Voquint, like Voice Jungle. Voice Realm is P2P, but they also moonlight as intermediary. And by intermediary, I mean websites or these companies that have more skin in the game, meaning like when a client contacts them, they handle it personally, not by an algorithm that sends out auditions and then you deal directly with the client yourself and the platform takes 20%. All right. Voices.com does kind of both. If you dial into the numbers, they do have a section where they will actually manage the gig or manage the client's job for them and find the voice talent. But in most cases, most of the work they do is through their algorithm. Okay. So, there is that. And you can be on all these sites. Some of them are free. Some of them cost money. But the truth of all of this is none of us at this moment has enough money and I can't speak of how much money you have, but I mean, the amount of money that these companies have to promote their services is unbelievable. Plus, the page authorities, the site authorities that they have for their websites, the backlinks, all of the things that you need to build a website. Okay, we are just so far out of our league right now that the way to grow your business and to find business and how you get business is getting yourself on at least 20 to 30 websites minimum. Now, if you find yourself on 10 and you find yourself swamped with work, okay, great, get on 10. If you find yourself on 20 and you're not swamped with work, great, get on 30. Don't stop getting on these websites until you get the work you need. That should be the first step. And yes, you should look to go on the free ones first. Places where you can upload samples. Places where you do not have to spend all of your time auditioning. Now, I know I've gone back and forth about auditioning too, and I think there is a place for auditioning when, for example, if you are shortlisted or someone contacts you for a private audition, that's different. But spending your time all day, every day auditioning in hopes that you get a job that pays you enough to justify all the hours you spent. What's funny to me is, when we complain or when there's people that just have a hard time with pricing, okay, you have to look at the totality of the work we're doing, right? So let's say that you audition for, for a week, right? And you've auditioned 4 to 5 hours a day. So you've put in, after 5 days, you put in 25 to 30 hours of work. Then let's say you get a job for $1,000. And you're like, I don't work for less than that. Okay. Now, if you say, man, this $1,000, it only took me 30 minutes to do the job. I'm elite. And I'd be like, that's awesome. But did it really take you 30 minutes to get that job? Or did it take you 25 hours to 30 hours to get that job? All right, to make that money? No, it took you 25 to 30 hours to make that money. And the reason why I bring it up, is there anything wrong with that? No. But that turns that incredible $1,000 in 30 minutes to more like $1,000 in 25 to 30 hours, which is not a good use of our time. So the reason why I bring this up is because the auditioning model has been around forever, right? And it was clearly a great model when there wasn't a way for us to leverage our getting ourselves out there. But now we have that leverage in the form of internet and the websites where we can promote ourselves on, because they are promoting us as a group of people. They're able to promote way more than we are. Now, does that mean, do I think we shouldn't be building our websites? Absolutely not. I think we need to be building our websites. I think you need to have a blog. I think you need to be building backlinks. I think you need to be adding pages to your site, adding things that you're doing, adding thoughts and comments and how you're helping the community, if you so be it. All the things that are important, we need to have those on your site so that we can slowly build it. But let's be honest, it's going to take you 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years to build your website to a place where you'll actually start seeing any payoff. So you have to really build your business through the backs of OPM, other people's money, and OPT, other people's time. And that is these websites. That's these websites. Okay? And again, there's nothing wrong with auditioning, but I would rather upload samples that have the opportunity for hundreds or thousands of people to listen to, as opposed to me just doing an audition and one person listens to it and then nobody else hears it. Right? There's power there. There's leverage. And we as solopreneurs, as one-person businesses, 1 or 2-person businesses, we need all the leverage we can get. And that's how we grow our business. And I can tell you, the more I have joined voiceover websites, the more business I've gotten, the more exposure I've gotten. And by the way, this is a funny story, but a true story. And I joke with the different companies about this. But a lot of times, and as awful as it sounds, but a lot of times I will be found on one place and they will go to another place to purchase from me. And it could be because they wanted to deal directly with me and not through an intermediary, or they wanted to get a lower price or whatever, right? Because the intermediaries, or the sites that charge more, on a back end, like you could charge $150 for a job, but if it goes through a site where they are working for you, okay, and working for the client, so like you don't deal with the client, they deal with all the stuff the client needs, they might charge $250. They may take $100, give you $150, okay, or they might take $75, give you $175, whatever, okay, but that's $250, where the other client, if they found you somewhere else, could could pay you $150, and you got maybe only 20% taken out. Okay, so you would make less, but you got the job. The point I'm trying to make is that either way is fine in the end because you're making money. But it makes no sense if you are unable to be found, and that's not able to happen to you. You've got to be found. Remember the 3 biggest things. You've got to be found first and foremost. You got to be found in search engines. You got to be found on websites. You got to be found in algorithms, whatever. None of this works unless you come up when people search for voice actors. So that has to be a major priority. And yes, our demos, our acting is so vital to this whole process. But it is naive for us to think that it is the only thing that is important in this process. Okay, the first thing is we have to be found. It doesn't matter how good. You could be the best person ever. I mean, you could be hands down, Morgan Freeman's calling you for voiceover advice. But if you're not found, it doesn't matter. You won't get diddly squat for work. So the first thing is you have to be found. The way to get found is being on 20 to 30 websites. Okay, that's a great way to be found. The second thing is once you're found, you got to be enticing enough to click on, whether that's a thumbnail, whether that's your description, whether that's a title, whether it's a price. You have to be enticing enough to click on. Once that happens, you've got to be able to sell and close the deal, whether it's sales copy, whether it's your demo, whether it's your FAQs, whether it's your extras, whether it's your commitment to commitment to a great product, whatever it is, you've got to close the sale. Those three things should be your guiding principle. And if you don't have enough business, and if you are looking for more business, and you are not on 20 to 30 websites, you are not doing enough. You're not doing enough. And I want you to make amazing amount of money through this business because it's life altering. It will change your life forever to make enough money in something that you love to actually support your life and your family. It's incredible. So don't leave any stone unturned. Don't leave any website just laying out there. And by the way, if you need a guide to try to find websites, okay, there is a wonderful, and I've talked about it before too, but Voquent put out, you just go to YouTube, type in 101 voiceover websites. Their free YouTube video will pop up and it just literally goes through 1 through 101 of different websites. And my recommendation is you go through each one. You see it, plug it in. Some you'll know, a lot of them you won't know. And those by far are not the only sites out there. But don't leave any stone unturned, especially if they're free sites to join. Join them. Update them regularly with samples. Update your profile regularly. Algorithms love to be updated and refreshed, and they love new content. So keep adding stuff. And until you find the money pot, you keep searching for it. Okay? In the background, you're building out your website. You're growing your website. You're growing the authority of it by adding content. Okay? But in the front side, you are getting lots of exposure by adding your profile to these websites. I mean, we would have to hire teams of people to call enough businesses, send enough emails just to equal how much exposure we could get by getting on 20 to 30 sites. We would have to hire armies of people because everybody's on internet, right? Everybody's online right now buying anyways. That's where they buy from. So we need to be everywhere on the internet. And this is a great method of how to do it. All right, you guys. Well, that's my podcast for today. I had to get that out there. A lot of times, it comes out of me. It's crazy. But thank you so much for listening. And as always, my thoughts and prayers go out to all our frontline workers. Thank you for everything that you're doing and your families. And all of you for listening. It makes me want to keep doing this day in and day out. So thank you so much. If you get an opportunity, please feel free to leave a review over on iTunes. But other than that, you can head over to avosjourney.com to check out the website there to help grow your business some more. And you have a wonderful week. All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Peace.